A state of political limbo becomes a state of emergency in Thailand as the Prime Minister resists calls to step down. As Bangkok's streets descend into chaos, the country's no closer to any political solution. Are fresh elections the way out, or will they just give rise to the same problems again? This is Inside Story. Hello, I'm Kamal Santamaria. Just what is going on in Thailand these days? In fact, what's been going on in Thailand for 2.5 years, which has rendered the country unable to hold down a leadership and plunged it in and out of political chaos. Well, perhaps more worryingly this time is the way that chaos and indeed violence has reached out onto Bangkok's streets. It all kicked off Saturday, a series of protests timed to coincide with the ASEAN summit hosted by Thailand. At the venue in Pattaya, anti-government protesters broke into the conference centre before moving events on to the capital, Bangkok. Then on Monday, it really turned violent. Thai troops firing at crowds of anti-government protesters in the centre of the city. Demonstrators fighting back with firebombs and rocks. And this whole volatile situation has forced Prime Minister Abhisat Vejjajiva to declare a state of emergency, the third time in Thailand in 8 months. Behind all the violence, though, the protesters' demands are pretty simple. They want Prime Minister Abhisat to resign and they want fresh elections to be held. And they have the support of that man, the former Thai Prime Minister Thaksin Shinawatra, of course ousted back in 2006, but who retains a groundswell of support in Thailand. Right, let's explain some of the background here, because 2.5 years of political upheaval in Thailand means a very complicated trail has been left. First, the protest groups, perhaps offhandedly monikered as Thailand's colourful protesters. The red-shirted protesters are from the United Front of Democracy Against Dictatorship. They are against the current government, not necessarily pro-Thaksin. Some were actually quite vocal against him before he was ousted. And the protesters in the yellow shirts are from the People's Alliance for Democracy. They support the current government and are anti-Thaksin. Last November, you might remember, they closed down Bangkok's international airport and forced the Thaksin-aligned administration out. Now, the reason they're protesting, well, it stretches back to 2006. First of all, a snap election which was due in April. It was boycotted by the opposition. And then that bloodless military coup in September, which removed Thaksin from power while he was at the UN General Assembly. That was the injury. The insult came in May of 2007 when Thaksin's Thai Rak Thai party was banned and a new military-drafted constitution approved. That constitution, though, did take Thailand to general elections in December of 2007, but what a familiar feel about the winning party. It was called the People Power Party, but it was, in reality, just a reincarnation of Thaksin's Thai Rak Thai party, the party that was banned. Then it all unravelled again. This man, the newly elected Prime Minister Samak Sundaravej, didn't last long. He violated a conflict of interest law by, of all things, hosting a cooking show while in office. He was thrown out. Then 3 months later, this man, his replacement, Somchai Wongsuwat, Thaksin's brother-in-law, he got thrown out, this time for neglecting his duties in a previous government job. And so this man, a third new Prime Minister, Abhisat Vejjajiva, who is now under real pressure, as we see, from those red-shirt protesters, to quit. So it's an ongoing saga which seems to just repeat itself in much the same fashion. Wonder, is there a way out? Let's discuss that with our guests. In Washington, D.C., Bunjab Jarawan Chonwanit, he is a member of the Thai D.C. Forum, a group supportive of the Thai government. In Boston is Zachary Abuza, a professor of political science at Simmons College in Boston. He specialises in Southeast Asian politics. And in Oxford in the United Kingdom is Ji Ungpakorn, an associate professor and supporter of the red shirt protesters. Gentlemen, thank you for joining us on Inside Story. Ji Ungpakorn, I'll come to you first in Oxford. First of all, your reaction to what we've seen, particularly in the last 24 hours, such violence on the streets of Bangkok.
Well, I think it's an absolute outrage that armed troops have been using live ammunition in order to disperse demonstrators, pro-democracy demonstrators. This puts Thailand on the par with the Burmese regime. And also the aims are the same. Whenever regimes use the army to kill or maim demonstrators, it's in order to retain the powers of the elite. It's in order to prevent democracy. And I think that really we have to understand that this entire crisis, which started late in 2005, is a result of the fact that the old elites have refused to respect the democratic wishes of the majority of the Thai population. And this is because they are very much afraid that the empowerment of the Thai population will erode these old privileges that they have had. And here we have to understand that the yellow shirts are a coalition of royalists, people in the palace, the army and the Democrat Party, and they are committed to fighting to building what they call a new order of politics, and that basically is a return to dictatorship. And what they have done so far is to frustrate the democratic process. And the red shirts are now a citizens' movement in order to build democracy in Thailand, and that's why I support them.
Okay, let's get to some reaction from Mr. Bunjob in Washington, D.C. You must admit this level of reaction from the government, the firing of what look like almost machine guns in the street, it is extraordinary and has taken this idea of protest in Thailand to a new and very dangerous level.
Yeah, but this is what I believe is the righteousness of the government to use the force to disperse the riot, which it became the riots right now. And you can see that in the past 2 to 3 days, there is a violent attempt against the Prime Minister of Thailand, the Minister of Thailand, and even though a storm into the ASEAN Summit, we do not know what the purpose of that. Besides, try to embarrass the Thai government that they cannot handle the situation in Thailand. However, even though the constitution gives the right to all these people to protest against the government, if they are commit the wrongdoing, but have they done any wrongdoing at this time? I haven't seen anything yet. However, the protest must be peaceful and unarmed.